Steve, do you want to introduce yourself, please? And I don't know why Steve's name's not on this slide. Okay. Oh, Christy's back, but go ahead, Steve. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Steve Audie, and I work with the RFS single family and multifamily reporting submissions, primarily on the technology system side. I also assist with providing post-issuer reporting data to the investor community in data disclosure files. So a little background. I wasn't on Monday's call, which is why you're getting my bio here. Back to you, Christy.
Thank you, Steve. So, Ryan, if you could turn on the annotation bar, please. So using the annotation tool or in the chat box, would you let me know your takeaways from session 1 and also if you have any unresolved questions? Okay, see someone typed the e-note. So that's good. No questions, okay. The full monthly schedule, that's good. Deadlines, wonderful. Time frame expectations, that's great. Reporting timelines. Okay. Colin, if you could export the slide, please. Thank you. In session 1, I covered the issuer's primary responsibilities and subservicing partnerships. Nancy covered the resources and reference documentation available to issuers on the Ginnie Mae website and touched on some Ginnie Mae terms. I covered the monthly reporting timeline, including the major deadlines for missing pool and loan data and when critical alerts should be cleared. Nancy explained the e-notification process. Today, we will focus on the 3 bolded modules on this slide. We will dive right into the RFS monthly reporting of pool and loan data. In this module, we will explain the types of RFS records, how to edit the records, discuss calculations that RFS performs, and explain which fields issuers are responsible for reporting and editing. It is very important that 100% of the pool and loan data be reported by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the second business day in RFS. Also, critical exceptions must be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th business day. The best way to know that 100% of pool and loan data is reported on the second business day is to view the summary screen and ensure that the reported loans and pools balance to the expected loans and pools. Also, you should view the exception tab to ensure that there are no outstanding RFS 111 missing pool exceptions and no outstanding RFS 204 missing loan exceptions. Okay, can everyone hear me?
I can.
Okay. Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. All right. The 4 RFS records are pool, loan, sensitive, and various, which we we'll cover in detail over the next section of slides. Ginnie Mae MBS Guide, Appendix 619, which Nancy discussed on Monday, gives a full description of each record. This appendix can be found on the ginniemay.gov website, and there's also a link provided at the bottom of this slide. The pool record contains elements related to the Ginnie Mae pool. It is required each month. One pool reports one loan. Therefore, if you have 10 active pools, then your RFS file should have 10 pool records. The information in the P record represents the monthly cumulative pool status of as of your Ginnie Mae cutoff. The P record includes unscheduled principal. Unscheduled principal is liquidations, which are payoffs, buyouts, and loss mid, to name a few. Curtailments, adjustments, and claim funds are also considered to be unscheduled principal. These funds roll to the pool record from the loan record and reduces the security RPB. Page 7 of Appendix 619 displays the pool record layout. Also, at the very bottom of the screen, a sample of the P record is displayed. It is a string of text with specific start and end points for each field reported in the P record. Please note that some of the fields are signed fields showing a plus and minus sign. Important RFS calculations. On the pool record, the 7 below fields are calculated for the purpose of editing for loan and pool accounting and for 11710A pool summary data. The security RPB is reported by the issuer. The 7 fields calculated by RFS and not reported by the issuer are opening security RPB, scheduled principal, interest due security holder, cash due security holder, calculated closing security balance, guarantee fee, and liquidations in full FIC. Issuers report adjustments to FIC and closing FIC. RFS calculates and compares the adjustment and the closing FIC behind the scenes. Please raise your hand if you're familiar with the 11710A. Wonderful. Look at all those hands. If you could clear the hands, please. The pool record has a total of 25 fields. This slide shows fields 1 through 9. The pool record always begins with the letter P. The 2 fields that generate the most exceptions are bolded. Pool FIC has to agree to the cumulative active loan FIC, and the weighted average interest rate must be reported on Ginnie Mae 2 pools. This slide shows fields 10 through 17. The final security RPB is the value that RFS releases to the CPTA after 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th business day. And this slide shows fields 18 through 25, which is the end of the P record. Please note that fields 20 and 23 only apply to multifamily loans. Or multifamily pools, I'm sorry. The loan record contains data elements related to active loans within a Ginnie Mae pool and is required each month. One record reports one loan. The information in the L record represents the monthly cumulative loan status as of your Ginnie Mae cutoff. The L record includes reporting liquidations on a loan within the last period. A UL ID, which is the unique loan ID, is assigned by Ginnie Mae and needs to be input into your servicing system for reporting to RFS. The UL IDs are posted in e-notification as a text file, which was discussed on Monday during the e-notification section. Page 12 of Appendix 6-19 displays the L record layout. Also, at the very bottom of the screen, a symbol of the L record is displayed. It is a string of text with specific start and end points for each field reported on the loan record. The loan record has a total of 29 fields. This slide shows fields 1 through 8. The loan record always begins with the letter L. The 3 fields that generate the most exception are bolded. Case number, first payment date, and loan maturity date should all match the reported values on the 11706. Case number layout for each agency can be found in APM 02-17. The first payment and loan maturity date have different reporting requirements for modified loans. This shows fields 9 through 15. The loan OPB must agree to the original note even if the loan has been modified. The last installment paid date should be reported when a full P&I payment has been received. This shows fields 16 through 21. All collections of interest and principal should be reported in fields 18 and 19 when collected within the reporting cycle. If you collect more than one payment within the reporting cycle, a total must be reported in fields 18 and 19. And this shows fields 22 through 29, which is the end of the L record. The loan UPB must be reported even if the loan is being liquidated. The liquidation information is in fields 24 through 28. I will now turn it over to Steve.
Thank you, Christy. The next 2 records that I'll cover are the sensitive record and the various record. Both the sensitive and various record contain static information that were reported at the time of loan pool origination and are not required for reporting to RFS unless there's a change to incorrect or incomplete data. Page 20 of Appendix 6-19 covers the records, the S record and the fields within. There's an example at the bottom of this screen for an S record. All S records begin, all sensitive records begin with the letter S. This screen shows the fields 1 through 10 on the sensitive loan record. You'll notice that there is address information and the first of 5 borrower information, SSN, first name, last name. RFS allows up to 5 borrowers to be reported, so this shows field 11 through 21 of the S record. All right, the various loan record begins with a V. It is an optional record with static information related to the loan. This is initially submitted on the 11706 Schedule of Pool Mortgages and is not a required field. Not a required record, that is. The various record has selected items that are controlled fields. These are subject to edit and suspension if they're changed from a previously reported value. We'll get into that in a little bit. You'll see at the bottom, the sample record has a V at the beginning of the record to indicate that it's a various loan record. Page 23 of Appendix 619 has the V record specification, including A lot of good instruction on page 23. Please read that to familiarize yourself with the V record. All right, this slide shows the first 8 fields within the V record. You'll notice that there's an asterisk in the field name for certain fields. This asterisk indicates that this is a controlled field and is subject to suspension if changed from previously reported. Also note on here that a relatively new loan purpose is available for reperforming loans. These are exclusively in pool type RG for reperforming pools. You'll also notice field 7 here, the debt service ratio is a multifamily only field, so it is not needed for the single family reporting. One last note, the credit score. Ginnie Mae does not look for updated credit scores. This is only the credit score that was reported at time of pooling, and you're only supposed to report credit scores that were incorrect at time of pooling. We don't need updated credit scores on your reporting. This shows fields 9 through 14. You'll notice here that most of these are single family only reporting. There are a few that are both single family and multifamily. The combined LTV is defined here, and it includes the LTV and additional subordinate mortgages information. All right, this slide shows field 15 through 20. This gives the 4 pre-modification fields. These will be for loan purpose 3 and 4 only. And you can see field 16 there, the refi type is for a loan purpose 2 only. Okay, this slide shows fields 21 through 25, which takes you to the end of the various record. You'll notice that fields that do not have an asterisk are not controlled fields, like third-party origination type. Check that. The asterisk in the field name column is for the controlled fields. The asterisk in the remarks indicates that this is a field that can be blanked out, meaning that if you had a first-time home buyer indicator at time of pooling and it was incorrect, you can remove that by putting an asterisk in the field for first-time home buyer. There are fields like third-party origination type that are not permitted to be removed. So you cannot put an asterisk in that field when you report. All this is on the specification in 619, so you can refer to that for the reporting on the various loan record. All right. Now, for the process flow, the monthly various suspense process that I referred to earlier, this is for changes to data reported at GinnieNet at time of pooling. So if you had, let's say, for example, a loan purpose one purchase at time of pooling, and that was incorrect at time of pooling, you can report a loan purpose, let's say 2, refinance, on your various loan record. That item will be suspended, and you'll be asked for verification of that for the suspense process. Once you say that that is correct in the suspense process, then we will be able to make that change, and the refinance will be taken as the new loan purpose for that loan. Okay. Ginnie Mae just wants to make sure that certain control fields on the various record are being tracked and suspended and then verified. The process for doing that you can see in 4, 5, and 6 here. You will receive an e-notification of a suspended record. Please check your e-notification for that. Those come out on the 7th business day. Then you respond to that with a download, and then you will send that to Ginnie Mae Various at Deloitte.com with your responses. And that's the process for how various suspense records get processed, with either an accept or a reject. All right, now let's use the annotation tool and place this sticker on the record. This is kind of a summary. Place a sticker on the record that contains static information. You can use your star or your arrow, check mark. Very good. Very good responses. Good. Yes, both the sensitive and various record are static information. I am happy to see that no one put anything in pool or loan. All right, now place a mark on the record that includes unscheduled principal. All right, good voting here. The answer we were looking for is the pool record. There is unscheduled principal on the loan, but the unscheduled principal is included on the pool record. All right, if we could clear those, we have one more. Only reported if there's a change to the data that was initially submitted on the 11-706. Okay, plenty of voting here. The correct answer here is on the various loan record. So the votes for the loan record, we were looking for various loan record there.
Steve, it should be sensitive and various. If something changes with a borrower name from the 11-706 or they found out that something's wrong with their address, they need to submit another sensitive record. So we're looking for both sensitive and various.
Very good.
Okay.
And the last one represents the end of the reporting period status of the loan. This is the softball for you. Knock this one out of the park. All right, very good, very good. Yes, this is the loan record. Colin, you can clear the annotations, and I will turn this back over to Christy.
Thank you, Steve. In this module, we will define the exception messages and summarization alerts, explain how to navigate the exception feedback summary screen, and list the steps on how to download your exception feedback as a CSV file. RFS is the reporting and feedback system. Both pool and loan level may be entered online in RFS, or a file may be uploaded. Any information input into RFS is subject to editing. This upload exception feedback is provided for any file that is accepted and can be viewed on the functional acknowledgement screen in RFS and also within eNotification. This is the initial edit process. Data uploaded or entered manually online will be processed by RFS and will be summarized only if 90% of the data has been reported and are accepted. The summarize process performs the accounting calculations for the pools and loans within the issuer's portfolio. Summarization occurs automatically when the issuer has reported 90% of their pool and loan data. Also, there is a nightly bulk summarization for all issuers meeting the 90% criteria to include any data manually entered online in RFS. If 90% of the data is not accepted, the summarization process was not completed, the summary screen will not display the correct values. The issuer should review their exception feedback. First, navigate in RFS to exception feedback, then to the summary screen. This provides a snapshot of the monthly reporting activity and total number of outstanding exceptions. Then click on the Exceptions tab at the top of the screen to display a snapshot of outstanding exceptions. By clicking the Download tab and clicking Download Exceptions, this will download a full list of the outstanding exceptions in a CSV file. A best practice would be to save this download of exceptions daily. Summarization performs important calculations in RFS, which include the number of pools expected and the number of loans reported by the issuer, the number of loans expected and the number of loans reported by the issuer, loan delinquency based on the current reporting period from field 3 of the file header record, and last installment date from field 12 of the loan record. The pool FIC is compared to the loan reported FIC, and the principal and interest collected, which is summarized from the loan level. Summarization generates exceptions when inconsistencies exist between pool and loan level reporting and occurs when 90% of the data is reported. As a reminder, there is a nightly bulk summarization for all issuers that have reported at least 90% of their pool and loan data. This note shows a snippet of Appendix 619 with the possible exception messages for each field. Colin, please turn on the annotation tool. Using the annotation tool, place a sticker on the RFS 111 exception. Okay, perfect. There we go. We've got some stickers. An E-level RFS 111 exception explains that there is no activity reported for the current reporting period, which means the pool is missing. This exception would display on the pull screen in RFS and would appear on the exception download CSV file. To fix the RFS 111 exception, the pull would have to be manually entered into RFS on the pull screen, or a file would have to be uploaded that included the missing pull. Also, summarization alerts are italicized in Appendix 619 and only appear in RFS once 90% of the issuer's data is reported in RFS. Thank you for your participation on all the stickers. Page 1 through 5 of Appendix 619 explains the severity level of exceptions. If you receive an error or an E-level exception, then your record did not load in RFS. E-level exceptions occur on any of the 4 types of records, which are pool, loan, sensitive, and various. The E-level RFS 111 missing pull exception must be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the second business day. Other outstanding E-level exceptions are expected to be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the fourth business day. Critical or C-level exceptions are related to remittance and/or disclosure data. These only occur to pool and loan level reporting. The C RFS 204 missing loan exception must be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the second business day. Other outstanding C-level exceptions are expected to be cleared by 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the fourth business day. High or H-level exceptions are related to pool and loan level reporting. Medium or M-level exceptions are related to loan matching and/or suspense. Low or L-level exceptions may occur on any of the information on the 4 types of records. Colin, could you please turn on the annotation tool? Using the annotation tool, could you place a sticker on the critical severity level, please? Wonderful. The error and critical exceptions should be cleared either the second or the fourth business day, and the high, medium, and low level exceptions should be addressed by the 10th business day. These are wonderful stickers. Thank you so much for your participation with that. And if you could turn off the annotation tool, please. To access the summary screen in RFS, log on to my Ginnie Mae and RFS, hover over RFS and click the exception feedback module, which is displayed in the red box. The exception feedback screen is displayed. The screen shows a roll-up of all of the pool and loan level information that has been accepted from the file or manual entry for the current month. Note, the drop-down box will display the current month report period and 17 months of prior data. You can only update the current month's data. If you are missing current data, this is where you would find the difference in the reported versus the expected loans and pools. On this particular issuer, there are 95 reported loans and 99 expected loans. Therefore, the issuer is missing 4 loans. There are 14 reported pools and 19 expected pools on the bottom half of the screen. Therefore, the issuer is missing 5 pools. Colin, could you turn on the annotation bar? Using the annotation tool, could you place a sticker on the screen where you see the number of outstanding exceptions? Wonderful. Very good. Yes, there are 14 outstanding pull exceptions and 142 outstanding loan exceptions. A quick story. An issuer contacted issuer support stating that she received a call from an investor concerning delinquent loans. And the issuer stated that they did not have any delinquent loans. We researched and the reported data in RFS and determined that the loans were not delinquent. The issuer reported a current month payment but did not report the correct last installment paid date in RFS. We reviewed the RFS summary screen and there were 12 loans delinquent 1 month based on the last installment date. This is why you should compare the data on the RFS summary screen to your internal servicing system as soon as possible. Here's the exception tab, which displays the outstanding exceptions. If you are missing pulls and loans, this is where you would see the count of the missing RFS 111 pull exceptions, which there is 5, and the outstanding 4 missing loan RFS 204 exceptions. Sometimes you may notice a difference in the missing loan count from the summary screen to the exception screen. This difference in the missing loan count occurs when a pull has not been reported. Once the pull is reported, the RFS 204 exceptions will generate. Also, this particular has other outstanding exceptions which would need to be worked. There are 2 ways to receive your pull and loan level exceptions. Issuers may go to the Exception tab from the Exception Feedback module in RFS and click the blue link to view them through the Exceptions tab. Or the issuer may download a CSV file. Downloading a full list of exceptions is recommended. Colin, could you turn on the annotation tool, please? And would you please place a sticker on which one of the 2 options that you would use most frequently to view exceptions? Okay, great. It looks like we got a few for online, but most everyone is downloading their exceptions. That is wonderful. Thank you. If you could turn off the annotation tool, please, Colin. To download exceptions into a CSV file, navigate to the Exception Feedback module and click on the Download tab. Then click on the Download Exceptions in the dark blue bar. To download a list of all of the outstanding exceptions, click the Download button at the bottom of the screen. Also, if your organization is a subservicer, you may check the Download Subservicer box on the right side of the screen to download all of the active exceptions for all of your issuers you subservice for. After clicking the Download button at the bottom of the previous slide, the Instructions page will display. Follow the instructions by right-clicking on the Download Exception CSV file. If you select Open in New Window option, which is at the bottom right corner of this screen, the CSV file opens and will display all of your outstanding exceptions. Please save this file as Excel. After querying any exceptions, issuers should always save and summarize the pull activity record by clicking the Save and Summarize Pull button at the bottom of the pull screen. If you have reported or updated a loan record, the calculated pull security RPB may change and create a new exception after the nightly bulk summarization. A quick story. On the 3rd business day, if an issuer liquidates a loan and does not save and sum the pull, the morning of the 4th business day, the issuer will have multiple critical alerts on the pull record. The issuer will need to clear the critical exceptions prior to 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 4th business day. Colin, could you please post the first polling question? Thank you. Now, if we could get lots of participants, it looks like we've got 96 participants today. If we could get everyone to vote, that would be great. So how are the summarization alerts identified in Appendix 619? And if you think back, this was the screen where we put the sticker on the RFS 111 exception. Okay, we'll give this just a few more seconds. So everyone has time to vote. And Colin, if we could end the poll and broadcast the results, please. Thank you. It looks like 78% got the correct answer, which is the exception message is printed in italicized text. If you could post the next question, please. So what percentage of data must load for summarization to occur? We'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, if you could end the poll and broadcast the results, please. And it looks like 78% got the correct answer when 90% of the data is accepted. And our last polling question now before we take a break. So why is the S record noted as sensitive data? I'll give it a few more seconds. Wonderful, and lots of participation on this one. Okay, if we could end the poll and broadcast the results. And it looks like 94% selected the correct answer because it does have PII data. If you could close the polling question, please. So now we will take a 5-minute break. When we reconvene, Steve will be presenting. Ryan, could you start the 5-minute timer, please? And we will reconvene at 10:59.
Okay, welcome back. Let's get started now on talking about the reporting workflow. Knowing what to do and when to do it is important with RFS reporting. These are some of the tools that will assist you in your reporting workflow. These three methods are the ways in which you can report to RFS. Your method can be influenced by your volume of reporting. These three methods are for initial reporting as well as for correction reporting. You could see the top two are through the Ginnie Mae Enterprise Portal, the online data entry, and the file upload, which is online entry is for individual loans and pool, loan by loan, pool by pool. File upload will allow you to upload all of your data or a portion in a file. The file upload and the secure FTP are the preferred method as they use automation and allow for you to report all your data at once. Please, Colin, if you could put the annotation tool bar up. Could I have everyone vote for the option that they most frequently use? While we're doing that, the secure FTP is a special method that you'll set up to report large amounts of data to RFS. Okay, we have a variety, quite a variety here. Of course, if you do the file upload or the secure FTP, you can also do data entry as well. All right, very good. If you could clear the stickers. All right, let's talk a little bit about reporting corrections. Corrections are submitted in the same format using the P, L, S, and V records. No other records are needed. RFS processes files as they come in. So if you have three files, the first one is processed first, then the second one, then the third one. So sometimes we get requests, oh, can you reprocess my second one? No. What you'll have to do is report that as your fourth file, and then that gets processed because the last record in becomes the data of record for that report period. RFS only retains the most recent submitted data. Okay, when you submit your data, you'll want to know if the file upload was successful. So if we could put the annotation tool on, let us know if you primarily use functional acknowledgements through e-notification, or if you go manually to the PA exception feedback download to see whether or not your functional acknowledgement was accepted. All right, we have a variety. Very good. Okay, let's look a little bit at the screens themselves. If you could clear the stickers, thank you for your participation. Like some of the creativity going on here. All right, so within RFS, under exception feedback is your navigation to get your functional acknowledgements. Once you're in exception feedback, the download button is where you would see your functional acknowledgements. Here is an example of a 3-file submission. You could see boxed in red on the right-hand side. 2 have been accepted and 1 has been rejected. A for accept, R for reject. Okay, let's move on. When you click on any of these files on the left-hand side, you actually get to see the details of that submission. So clicking on one of the ones that had an A, then you could see this is the result. And do note at the bottom, you see the counts in the submitted files. You see the pool count, sensitive count, loan count, and various count in that submission. This is a very helpful tool to understand what your submission had in it, to see if it was successful or if it was not. Okay, next. This is an example of a rejected record. The length of the header is not 11, and that is the reason why this submission was not accepted. If you want a full listing of where these are, the rejection messages, you can look on VI-19, Appendix VI-19 on page 33 and 34. They list all the rejection messages that you would receive in RFS. And now I will turn it over to Nancy.
And good morning, everybody. Okay, we're going to look at some of the activity screens, and we're going to start with I think the pool activity screen. To access the activity screens, you would select pool accounting, single family, and then you will get the major screen that gives you either pool, loan, quarterly verification, or your remittance advice. Just a note, every one of the modules within RFS has a user guide, and it is at the far right. Okay, so let's look at the pool record. We're going to select the pool tab, and then the pool record opens up. But within the pool record, you can look at the pool list or the pool activity that's showing in the dark blue box above. We get a lot of issuers to tell us that at the very bottom on the left, they've never noticed the plus signs for the custodial bank information and for the pool transfer history. And we're going to go over that in just a few minutes. So within the pool activity screen, you have a link to the 11.710A data. That link will not open up if the pool record has not been reported. So for a pool record to be reported, there's certain data that must be reported. You need to have a closing FIC, you need to have a closing security RPB to actually get the record to save. There's other fields that need to be reported, but there's certain fields you have to report to get the record to save. At the very bottom of the pool activity screen is the Save and Summarize button. This is very important, and it has two functions. The Save button will actually save pool activity. The Summarize button actually pulls loan data into the pool screen. So if you had a liquidation on a loan that you reported, it does not feed to the pool activity screen until the pool is summarized, or when we do the nightly bulk summarization. So at the very bottom, again, there were two links to the bank account information, which will give you each end of bank account number and the ABA number. These numbers are used in the custodial account verification, and I believe on Monday we mentioned it is a calves month. It's going to pull in this information. So if you have 100 pools and 50 are at one bank and 50 at another bank, it's going to pull in both individual banks' information into the calves. At the very bottom, we have the pool transfer history. Now, this was a enhancement from 2020, 2021. Issuers, this is to help issuers know when a pool was actually issued, the date, and if the pool ever had a transfer information. And this has come in handy for several issuers when they've tried to figure out what is wrong with their pool. They've got a pool to security difference. When did it occur? And it helps them actually validate any information they need. So here's the 11.710A that was linked to the pool information. At the very top for section 1 is actually loan activity that occurred and you have reported this month. So we know how much principal was collected, any interest collected. For this 11.710A, there's only one loan and they did not have any collections. Part of it would be the delinquency information on the left, 1, 2, 3 months and foreclosure. And should you have any prepaid loans or delinquent loans, it will give you your P&I. Additional information is if you had any collections on the loans and you reported service fee at the pool level, it will show that here, along with your FIC, scheduled remittance of principal, and weighted average interest rate, along with some calculated interest. And that would be gross interest. The second part of the 11.710A is the scheduled payments to the security holder. It gives you scheduled principal, any additional principal curtailments, in the curtailment field, any liquidations, and if you did any adjustments on the loan, or an RPB adjustment on the pool, it will show that. And at the very end of the line, it shows the total remittance of principal due to the security holder. I'm sorry, wait a minute. I've got to move my screen. On the far left-hand side, it gives you the security interest rate. In the middle, the interest due to the security holder, along with the principal. On the far right, you've got the total cash distribution. Section 3 gives you opening principal, closing principal, which will also show your distribution of total principal. You see some guarantee fee information, and at the very bottom, there's your bank account information. And another enhancement we had was in the red box, click here to go back to the pool activity screen. Prior to this enhancement, you had to click back to the pool tab, enter your pool number again, and click go. And so this has saved a lot of time. Okay, just for the loan activity screen, there are tabs across the top: loan list, pool list, edit loan, and liquidate loan. There's also a link to the pool activity and the loan master. The top half of the screen is the information when the pool was originated. This would be the pool's originated and you completed the 11.706, and the information for the borrower on the 11.706 rolls in to the top portion of the screen. The loan OPB, amount securitized, interest rate, fixed installment control, and the term of the loan. Also borrower name, address. On the bottom half of the screen shows current loan activity. So you've got current month collections, LPI date, ending balance of the loan. At the very bottom is the save button. Anytime, of course, you enter any data, change any data, make sure that you save it. If you change data on a loan, you always need to go to the pull record and save and summarize the pull record. You may have changed, or you may have liquidated a loan, and it will not feed to the pull record until you save and sum the pull record. At the very bottom of the loan activity screen is a link to the various loan record. If you click on the link, it will open the record, and the various fields are showing. And let's see. Now we're going to turn this back over to Christy.
Thank you, Nancy. To liquidate a loan in RFS, you would navigate to the loan screen, like Nancy had just described, and click on the Liquidate Loan in the dark blue bar. Then you would input the last installment date, select one of the 6 removal reasons from the drop-down box, enter the actual removal date on the left side of the screen. Then you would enter the liquidation interest and the liquidation principal on the right side of the screen. After you enter the liquidation principal, the liquidation balance autofills as RFS is taking the opening UPB and subtracting the liquidation pool, the liquidation principal. Ensure when you click Save at the bottom of the Liquidate Loan screen, then navigate to the Pool screen and save and sum the pool. By saving and summing the pool, this moves the liquidation in full FIC and the liquidation balance over to the liquidation fields on the pool screen, which means the issuer will be passing the liquidation funds through to the security holders. This also lowers the RPB of the pool for the current reporting period. Using your thumbs up and thumbs down, give me a thumbs up if there are 6 valid removal reason codes that Ginnie Mae uses. Give me a thumbs down if there are not 6 valid removal reasons. Wonderful. I see lots of green thumbs, which is the correct answer. Yes, at the moment, Ginnie Mae does have 6 removal reasons. And Colin, if you could clear the thumbs, please. You may wonder how to liquidate, how the liquidation interest and principal are calculated for inputting on the Liquidate Loan screen. Here is a sample Liquidate amortization schedule. As all Ginnie Mae MBS loans are scheduled, meaning the issuer must pass through the scheduled interest and scheduled principal whether you collect the payment or not. All liquidated loans are amortized 1 month greater than the current reporting period. This reduces the liquidation principal balance by the scheduled payment, which is already included on the pool record. The total interest due and the total principal remitted numbers are at the bottom of the liquidation record is needed for the Liquidate Loan screen in RFS. The MBS guide requires that issuers maintain a liquidation schedule, also known as the HUD 11710E, for each loan that is removed from a pool for audit purposes. Most servicing systems will complete a similar liquidation report like the one displayed. If your servicing system does not generate a liquidation report, you should manually complete one within the reporting month. As a reminder, in 2020, there was an RFS enhancement that gives issuers the opportunity to download a liquidation report to assist them in balancing their loan removals. I will now turn it back over to Nancy.
Thank you, Christy. Now we're going to look at the pull lists that you can pull a pull list and you can pull a loan list. So let's go over how we process those. Issuer is able to view each pool number, pool type, pool status, and loan count. You can access the list when you're in the pool record by selecting the pool list. You can enter your lowest pool number so you can see a complete list. If you only have alphanumeric pool numbers, enter the lowest starting with the letter A. You can click or select and click on the pool status to view the pool record. To view the loan record, you click on the pool number. And I know that sounds totally backwards, but that's how it's programmed. So again, if you want to see the pool status, the pool record, click on pool status. If you want to see the loan record or the list of loans within that pool, you can click on the pool number. And when I said if you want to see an entire list of all of your pools, enter your lowest pool number, you would enter that in the pool ID up top, and press your go button, and that will start that lowest pool number in your pool ID range. For a loan list, once you're back on the loan screen, you would click loan list. You will need to enter the pool number to retrieve the loan numbers. You can select or click on the individual unique loan IDs to view the loan record. So for this pool here, it has 4 loan numbers. And the status of all of these is not reported. And you, again, on the far left-hand side, you can click on the unique loan ID to view, the loan record. Okay, the loan screen captures individual loan activity. When you report collections, reversals, or adjustments, all of that information is captured. And once you do a save the loan record and summarize the pool record, some of that activity will actually move to the pool record. The LPI date on the loan record does determine if a loan will be calculated as delinquent. The calculation is not determined by the ending loan balance. At the top of the screen, you'll see that this loan has an exception message, an RFS 204, stating this loan has not been reported. We've actually gone in and entered the information that needed to be entered for the loan to save. So if you look on the far left on the last installment paid date, you'll see that the numbers are kind of darker. We actually entered that. So once you save this record, the activity will save and the loan will be reported and the exception message will clear. At the very, I'm sorry. Here we go. The pool activity screen contains fields, again, that the issuer reports, fields that are move or roll from the loan record to the pool record, and it also has system calculated fields. The top box again shows there's an alert message that this pool has not been reported. Every pool must have a reported closing security balance, even if it's the last month that the pool will be active. Always report a TNI and PNI balance should you have funds, and also report service fee collected if a borrower makes a payment. And of course, save and summarize any activity that occurs on the pool record. So we mentioned several times to ensure you save all the loan records after any change and save in some a pool record after any changes to either the pool or the loan. We did have an issuer that put in all their data and they never correctly saved it. After bulk summarization that night, the next day, all that data was gone. They had to re-enter it again. They were lucky they still had time. And it was not quite the end of the 4th business day. So another enhancement was we combined the save and summarize button. You used to have to hit save and then you'd have to hit summarize. So putting them both together, we were expecting, it to save a lot of issuers time, time from having to just hit the buttons twice. So here are more enhancements again from 2020, 2021. Download exceptions, and this is a big enhancement for subservicers because they can download all exceptions into one file for any issuers they're subservicer for. We have issuers that subservice one issuer up to 50, 60 issuers. Same thing for download liquidations. We'll give you a list of all your liquidations. For 1 month, you can choose 1 month or you can choose several months. I think it may go 17, 18 months, something like that. RFS summary screen, we did a download on that. You can download all of the A's into one CSV file and download forbearance data. For your 11, 7, 10 A's, a lot of issuers are using these to ensure that all of their data balances. If they should have a pool that's out of balance, they can pull that data very easily and use the download to assist them in correcting any errors that they've had. Okay, and now we're going to go back to Christy. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And if we could post our next polling question, please. Thank you. So here we have, when do we summarize a loan record? If I could get lots of participation, that would be great. It's great. We've got lots of participation. Again, the question is, when do we summarize a loan record? And we'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, if we could end the poll and broadcast the results, please. And it looks like we only had 17% of the participants get this correct. This is actually a trick question. So you would summarize a pool record. You would only save a loan record. Okay, if we could.
Now, Christy, you know that was my favorite question.
I know, Nancy. I love that question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I actually came up with that question, and I thought it was the best question out there. So, okay, I'll shut up now.
No, that's fine. Oh, gosh. Okay, so our next question is, which screen can you use to locate the bank account information? I believe Nancy went went over this where it's got the little plus sign at the bottom in the bottom left-hand corner to open up that screen? And we'll give that a few more seconds. Okay, if we could end the poll and broadcast the results, please. And it looks like 59% got this question correct. It is the poll activity screen. Nancy did explain in the bottom left-hand corner of that poll activity screen, you can click on the little plus sign and it opens up where your bank accounts, the ABA and the bank account numbers are for your accounts. Thank you. If you could post our last question, please. Okay. So which records are required each month? Okay, we'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, if we could end the poll and broadcast the results. And it looks like 68% got this question correct. The correct answer is pool and loan records. So the sensitive and various records should only be submitted when there is a change to information on those, but the pool and loan records are required each month. Okay, if we could remove the question there. Thank you. So we are actually getting pretty close to the end of today's session. So now we will have a group activity where we will be analyzing the exception feedback download file as a group today. When you are working your exception feedback, Appendix 619 defines the exception messages, the severity level, and the code. All of our Ginnie Mae issuer support team keeps a printed hard copy of 619 on our desk at all times. We have notes, we have highlights, we just use that as a great reference tools because, occasionally we'll have an issuer call and, be like, oh, I got an exception message. And I'm like, oh, I don't remember what that one is right off the top of my head. So we have to actually go look it up. So we will be talking about which alerts need to be addressed first, how to query, and hopefully we can have some interaction from some issuers that will help us in addressing how to resolve and query some of these alerts. Okay, so row 1 actually displays all of the column headings. So we've got our pool, loan, issuer number, the severity level, the codes. You have the ability to sort this exception download list, because it is in Excel. The list is actually saved by severity code, so you would need to sort it or filter it, however you're most comfortable doing that. Both the code and the field name indicates whether it is a pool or a loan level exception. So the first question to the group is, which of the alerts displayed should be addressed first? Do you think? You can type it in the chat box. You can unmute your microphone and talk. Whichever you would like. Okay, we've got ECs, the RFS 204s, the RFS 111s, and all of that is exactly right. The RFS 111s and the RFS 204s are the ones that we would work first because the deadline for the RFS 111s and the 204s are 7 p.m. on the second business day of the month. And then the other criticals should be cleared by the fourth business day at 7 p.m. Nancy, Steve, do you guys have anything to add on that one?
I do. We get a lot of calls, emails every month asking about certain alerts. Are they going to clear? I can't clear it. I think it's an e-alert RFS 998. We get a lot of calls on those. It's not really, I don't even think it's on the in Appendix 6-19. But it's just basically saying that it was an E-level alert and it wouldn't let you either report the pool or the loan, and those alerts clear overnight. There's also E-level pool alerts and E-level loan alerts. And if you're reviewing 6-19, you'll see where maybe the pool transferred out. It'll say pool belongs to another issuer, pool's been terminated, activity belongs to another issuer, that type of thing. So it's like issuers are still reporting on pools and loans that are no longer active, have been transferred out to another issuer, or they've actually transposed either part of the pool number or the loan number, and RFS doesn't know what to do with that. And so you'll get those E-level RFS alerts, and most of those will clear overnight. You just have to make sure you work your RFS 111s and RFS 204s to ensure that all of your activities reported. Okay.
Yes, and Stephen made a great comment in the chat about clear the RFS 111s and then re-download your exceptions to populate the RFS 204s. Yes, because if you have not reported the pool, the RFS 204s will not generate till after you clear the RFS 111s. So yes, that is
Did he say he's
a
crying?
great point.
RFS cry. Sorry. He's crying for us. And Stephen is a manager of one of our largest subservicers, DMI. So he has a lot of background into working and clearing the exceptions. He gives us a hard time, but he is really very responsive. So he's helped us. So again, he pulls all his exceptions. He has all of his analysts work these, and I'm sure they have a process that they go through. Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you. So we're going to combine our question 2 and 3, which is how would you clear the critical alerts and what steps are involved in addressing them? So do we have any response to those? Okay, I see a few people typing. RFS 111s and pool 452s. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and while they're typing, and actually it doesn't matter if the alert is critical, high, low, all the alerts would follow the same process. You would determine if the outstanding alert is for a pool or a loan, review it in RFS, read the exception message, compare the data to your internal servicing reports, determine the correct value and update it in RFS, whether you do that manually or you would do that with a correction file. As I believe Steve explained earlier, the last information that comes in, becomes the final information that is in RFS. Then you would just continue to work all of your alerts until they're cleared. And of course, don't forget to go and save in some of the pool whenever you've made any changes on the loan or pool record. So let's see here. What do we have? The pool 452 and 104. Yep. Review the loan, then the pools. Clear the critical missing loan alerts by the second business day. Yes, those are all wonderful. Colin, could you turn on the annotation tool for me, please? And then could you place a sticker on the exception code that shows a missing pool? Please. Wonderful. Yes, it is that RFS 111. I mean, I'm sure we've only said that, I don't know, 15 times during the training. So wonderful. That is great. Thank you. Now, which code indicates that the pool balance needs to be reviewed? Wonderful. Yes, those pool 452s, which are scattered out on the screen because they are listed, by the pool number and the severity level on here. So that is wonderful. Okay, so does anyone else have any comments or questions about our group activity? Nancy, Steve, do you guys have anything to add?
The one thing I would say, Christy, is sometimes you'll get an exception that indicates that there's a change to a different field. So if you, for example, if you on the various loan record, if there's an inconsistency between a refi loan purpose and a refi code, then you'll get an exception. So sometimes there's a relationship between the data. So the entire record gets processed together. So if you have a change to two different fields that are related, make sure you submit both of those.
Thank you, Steve. Awesome. Okay. So let me know if anyone has any questions. Again, you can unmute yourself or type in the chat box. Also, do I have any Ginnie Mae account executives that would like to provide any comments? And then here we do have our email addresses at the bottom of the slide.
And I left Steve Oddie off, so I'm going to type in the chat box Steve's email address.
Oh, thank you, Nancy.
And of course, if you have any questions, you can always email any of us, and we will definitely respond.
Absolutely. Okay, and Steve, it looks like Mary had a question in the chat about the vary codes.
Okay, I see that. Usually to clear them, we have to change a field and then change it back and it clears. Why does this happen? So it's a good question. The and I take it that's an online attempt that you're making. I guess before you hit the save button, make sure that all the fields, there's some logic on the online version, which it won't let you uh, put data into a certain field unless the loan purpose is correct. So if the if you're trying to put in, let's say, a pre-mod field, um, and the loan purpose is a 1 or a 2, it won't allow it. So it's that loan purpose has got to be a 3 or 4 prior to you actually accessing those pre-modification fields. So make sure the data is consistent as prior to hitting that save button.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have any other questions from anyone?
And just to let you know, we have our final session Friday. If something comes up that you think between today and Friday, and you want to ask it again, send the email, or Friday morning, it can be kind of one of the takeaway questions. What did you have any takeaways, or what hit? What did you think? That would be a good opening also for Friday morning. Don't be shy. Please ask. One person may be shy, the next person asks the question, and come to find out 5 people wanted to know the same answer. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Nancy.
Let's see what Peggy has a question, and Steven's answering it.
Oh, yes. Thank you. In the next class, can we talk about the loans that are liquidated where loan balance is less than the remaining UPB? Peggy, and then Steven says, Peggy, you would have to liquidate the loan the same way. Then you would have to hold back the principal in the RPB adjustment bucket. Right, Steven. On the loan level reporting. So yes, that is exactly how that should be handled.
And just remember, you can on a liquidation on a loan, but you can never remit more principal than what is remaining on the pool. So you will never totally over remit on the pool.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so Peggy means P&I. Peggy, would you be able to unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear? Okay, all I meant was the UPB is, when you liquidate a loan, the UPB is less than the P&I. So I've had loans where, FYI, let's say the P&I is $100 and then there's $50 left in the UPB, and it's like a big mess. I have to do all kinds of things because of that.
Right. Which you should be able to make that adjustment in the RPB adjust field on the pull screen to make the balance be 0.
Yeah, I did, and then you get it was just a shock the first time I got it. I didn't know what to do, right? Because you have to remit the next month's balance, and you didn't have enough money, so then you have an adjustment. I don't know. I just didn't know if anybody had as big an issue as I did. It takes a while. I figured it out, and I got help from Robin and stuff, but it was just I didn't know if other people had that problem with it. If it happens to you the first time, it is a shock. You're like, okay, what do I do? It's very difficult to conceptualize.
That is correct. There's not really a stated policy or a stated procedure in the Ginnie Mae guide that refers to this situation. So issuers have kind of figured it out on their own, or we've worked with some of them to figure out what do you report so you don't over remit.
Yeah.
So you're right. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's all. That's all I'm saying. Yes, if there wasn't anything really written or anything, and the first time I did it, it was a big mess, and then the second time it happened, I mean, I was able to understand what was happening, and Robin helped me and stuff, but it was it was a very stressful situation for me, you know, because it just didn't work the first time. I was like, I'm out of balance, it's not working, you know, did whatever, and it was really hard, and there was really nothing to look for.
Ginnie Mae reporting stressful anyway. We understand.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, true.
Very true. And then, you know, whenever you run into, you know, these situations that don't happen regularly, you know, it's always a good idea to just make notes and, you know, keep those somewhere so whenever it does happen again, you know, you will know what to do.
Right. For me, I do now, but I didn't know about other people. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, like 10 years or whatever, and this had been the first time it had happened to me. I've hit pretty much every error. This one was just like, you know, and I thought everything was fine until, you know, like the fourth day, it came up on the fourth day. It was cleared, and then it came up, and then it was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It's the fourth day. You know, it was hard. It was very, very, very stressful because I never even ever went to the fourth day. I've always done everything up to date too, right? It was like, I just couldn't sleep. I mean, it was hard. It was really, really hard. So it was just for everybody else, if there's something else, I mean, maybe they'll write some up eventually. And then you correct it, and then it didn't correct. You have to blank it out, save it, and then put it in again. And then it takes the correction, like somebody else talked before. It didn't take it the first time. But then you did the same exact thing, and then it took it the second time, even though there was really nothing different. So it was just very stressful, and it'd be nice to have something. I mean, everybody's got to go through it eventually, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay. Well, do we have any other questions from anyone?
I have one more quick one.
Sure.
Say that the month ends on a Friday. I mean, a Saturday. I mean, your business day is Friday, the end of the month, and then you still have like maybe the first comes up on a Saturday. Do you have to wait till Monday to transmit your first file because that's really the end of the month, or can you do it a little early?
You can submit your file earlier. However, RFS will not process it until the first. So if the actual first calendar day falls over the weekend, we work to open RFS. And it's after RFS is opened for the current month, then we start processing the files.
Okay, all right. So no early jump on it.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, that was a great question. Okay, well, if we do not have any other questions for anyone, from anyone, thank you for your attendance and attention today. And like Nancy said, Friday is our final session. So we will now turn it over to Yolanda.